आ गए सब लोग? राइट, done guys? All of you copied? Okay, so just understand here what is the meaning of extern. Okay, please listen here. No memory will be allocated for the extern variable. They make use of the memory of what? Outside variable. Understand here what is the meaning of this? Extern is not very important, nothing is there in this. Very simple. Extern के लिए कोई memory allocate नहीं होगा. Listen carefully. Okay, right? So what is saying here? No memory, very clearly saying no memory will be allocated to extern variable. They make use of memory of what? Outside variable. See, outside variable means most of the time it is what? Global variable only. Okay, it is outside variable means global variable. Is this clear for everyone? Right? Now just go through the first example. First example, integer a equal to 8. Listen carefully. In every example, write down some points, small points. Write down in your own okay words. Okay, if you want to write your explanation कुछ लिखना है तो अपने हिसाब से लिख लो. Right? Now integer a equal to 8. It is a global variable and main extern integer a. Now what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? Extern integer a means a is local to this main function. Listen carefully. A is a local to this main function, but memory will be, it will not, no memory allocated for this variable a, and they make use of memory of what? Outside variable. They make use of memory of what? Outside variable. Is this clear for everyone? Right? I am repeating. Okay, main, okay, extern integer a. What is the meaning of this? A is local to this main function, but they make use of memory of outside variable. It means what? They make use of memory of what? Global variable. Next, when I say printf a, what is the value of a will be printed? So 8 will be printed. And next, when you change a equal to 20, so where the value will change? In the global only. They make use of memory of outside variable, so it will change to 20. Now when I say printf a, so how much is printed now? 20, because a value changed to 20. Right? You should know the terminology. Extern integer a. What is the meaning of this? A is a okay local to this main function, but they make use of memory of outside variable. So it is just like working as what? A reference, just like a reference. So this is the output. Okay, for the first example. Now copy karo. Okay, so next, if you see the second example, what is the meaning of second example? Listen here. Main extern integer a. What is the meaning of this? A is a local to this main function. They make use of memory of outside variable. So outside, do you have any variable here? No. Outside there is no variable declared here. Actually that should give you what? Error. But now it will not give any error because you are not printing the variable a. You are not printing the variable a. In case if you print variable a, will it give error? Yes, because इसके लिए memory allocate नहीं हुआ ना. Like ये क्या बोल रहा है? A is a local to this main function. A is a local to this main function. They make use of memory of outside variable. Outside there is no variable a declared. So then actually it should give you error, but it will not give error in this example because you are not printing the variable a. So you are saying simply printf hello. So what is the output it will print? Hello will be printed. And next, now come back to this here. This one you can understand here. Same thing. A is a local to this main function, but they make use of memory of outside variable. Outside there is no variable a here. When you say printf a here, it will search where is the memory of a. A का memory कहाँ पे? इसका डब्बा कहाँ है? So memory नहीं है इसके लिए, right? No memory variable a is not available outside. So then it will give you what? Error. That will give you error. that will give you error. Is this clear? Just copy that. जो भी मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ अपने हिसाब से लिख लो, लिखना है तो write down in your own words. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now listen here, next example. If you see the next example, what it is saying here, okay, what is the meaning of this? Okay, integer a equal to 5 here. Okay, main extern integer a, extern integer a, extern integer a. So 3 times, okay, you are declaring here. Okay, 3 times you are declaring here. Will it give an error? No, it will not give an error because, okay, because no memory allocated for that variable, no memory allocated. So, okay, multiple times you are declaring with the same name. Multiple times you are declaring with the same name. Remember, that is allowed because it is a extern, because it is a extern, right? So multiple declaration of the same variable is allowed, okay, only if it is a extern. Okay, why? Because extern integer a, okay, what it is saying here, a is a local to this main function, but they make use of memory of outside variable. This is also same, this is also same. So even if you declare multiple times, no matter, doesn't matter, because okay, doesn't matter because no memory allocated for this. Now if I say printf a, what will be printed here? Okay, 5 will be printed. Okay, so when you say, okay, printf a, okay, that will, okay, what it is printing here? Okay, what is the problem? Some software problem. Okay, why it is printing? Okay, 5 will be printed. Is this clear for everyone? Next, now you are saying here, okay, main extern integer a. Listen carefully. When you say extern integer a, printf a. Now look at your printf a. You are saying here, okay, extern integer a. When you write this, what is the meaning of this? A is a local to this main function. A is a local to this main function. It is saying I will make use of memory of a outside variable. Outside variable means even if you declare like this, okay, यहाँ पे main के बाद यहाँ पे नीचे भी declare कर रहे हैं. Even if you are declaring here, this is allowed. This is allowed. No problem. That is allowed. Okay, because when you say extern here, okay, outside declaration here is allowed. There is no problem. Even if you declare like this, so that is allowed. Is this clear for everyone? Even if you declare like this, so this is allowed. This is allowed. There is no problem. Okay, so I am repeating here. Extern integer a. What is saying here? A is a local to this function, and they make use of memory of outside variable. So this is your outside variable, and this is also treated as what? A global variable. Global variable. So what is the a value here? 10. So printf a means how much will be printed? So 10 will be printed. So 10 will be printed. Next. Now look at here. So if I say main normal integer a, normal integer a, normal integer a. So what happens? This will give you what? Error. So multiple declaration of what? Same variable is not allowed. So this will give you what? Error. Is this clear for everyone? Next. ये तो normal है. Okay, because it's a normal variable only. There is no extend. Multiple declaration of the same variable in the same function. How it is allowed? So that is not allowed. So this will give you error. Compile time error only it will give. Multiple declarations of the same variable name. Is this clear? Okay. So next, now come back to this. Okay, main extern integer a equal to 10. Listen here. What is this called as? This is called as initialization. Extern integer a equal to 10. You are doing what? Initialization. First of all, do you have any outside variable declared here? No, there is no variable outside declared here. Remember, moreover, initialization of the extern variable is not allowed. Initialization, this is called declaration के साथ में जो है, if it is okay there along with the declaration, this is called as what? Initialization. So initialization of the extern variable is not allowed. What is allowed? Only assignment is allowed. Declaration, initialization of the extern variable not allowed. Note down here. Note down here. Initialization of extern variable not allowed. Initialization of external variable not allowed. Only assignment is allowed. Only assignment is allowed. Okay. Now understand here. So main external integer a. First of all, you are doing assignment here, okay, initialization here, so this is not allowed, and moreover there is no variable a outside. बाहर कोई variable a है नहीं है, इसके लिए memory allocate नहीं हुआ. And when you say printf a, what it will give you? Error. Okay, same thing. So that will give you what? Error. Yes, sir. Okay, so here in this it is treated as a global variable only. This is treated as a global variable. So that is also treated as a global variable. Why program 2 is not giving error? So which one? Second example. In the second example, you are not printing a. You are not printing a. यहाँ पे a को अगर print करे तो error आता है. Second example में बताया ना भाई, प्रिंट नहीं कर रहे तो एरर नहीं आएगा. ए को अगर प्रिंट करे तो एरर आता था सेकंड एग्जांपल में, राइट. इज दिस क्लियर फॉर एवरीवन? Yeah, Preeta Majumdar, you are, in case we are having multiple declarations in this, okay, why this is not allowed? Because memory should be allocated for this variable a, right? Memory should be allocated for this variable a. Where is this? Sorry. Okay. So understand here, memory should be allocated for this, and memory should be allocated for this. This memory should be allocated for this. You are having the same name, so this is not allowed. So name conflict हो जाएगा. Okay, you can have only one variable, it is okay. This is not allowed. Okay, multiple declarations if we do, okay, name conflict will come. So that is the, okay, that will create a problem. So in the last example, if you don't use printf statement, there will give error or not? No. Okay, if you are not okay giving any printf statement, there is no error. When you are trying to access that location, then only it will check. Okay, then only error. Okay. So okay, small program is there. If any small doubt is there, execute. Only one line, two lines programs are there. What is there in this? Only one line, two lines programs are there. If you have any doubt, you can do your own modifications and execute the program. Is that clear? So if you have any small doubt, okay, इसको यहाँ करे तो क्या होगा, यहाँ करे तो क्या होगा, यहाँ करे तो क्या होगा. So if you have so many questions, then execute, because only 2-3 lines of program you can execute and check. So that is about extern. So nothing is there in the extern. It is very simple and easy. And the extern is they make use of memory global variable only. Shubham Sahu. Adrija, in the why it prints error in the 3 instead of 0 in the third example. In the third example, because there is no variable a declared outside. In the third example, why it is giving error? In the third example, why it is giving error? There is no variable a declared. Okay, outside में variable declare पक्का होना चाहिए. Outside में ऐसा variable declared है. इधर सुनो integer a. If it is declared, then if it is not initialized, then it will print what? 0. Because the global variable, if it is not initialized, it will contain what? 0. Global variable, it is just like reference to the global variable. So you say integer a here. Outside में if you declare integer a, if it is not initialized, default contains 0. It will simply take that 0 and print 0. Preeta Majumdar, is that clear, beta? Adrija, I think. Adrija is asking. Yeah, Smriti, yes, sir. That's what you are saying. By outside, if you declare the variable, then default it will take 0. Right. Adrija, it is clear? Right. So that is about the external storage class. Okay. So that is a simple and easy. So right. So nothing much in this. Okay. Right. So next, let's move on to the next one. Copy this example. First example, second example, and third example. Okay. So copy this example. Copy this example. So I want to clarify, okay, few basic things before we move on to the next topic. Before we move on to the next topic, I want to clarify few things. So copy this example. In this we need to discuss what is declaration, what is initialization, and what is both. Just copy that example. Okay, right. So if you observe this, okay, in this example, you just need to specify, okay, we write a declaration means, okay, we specify D, okay, initialization, okay, initialization as I, and assignment as okay A. Okay, now tell me first, when I say integer a equal to 20, let's think and tell me integer a equal to 20, what is this called as a declaration or initialization or both? Okay, so think carefully and tell me declaration or initialization or both. Okay, so this is both declaration and initialization. And next you are having same thing, okay, main, integer main, okay, main के अंदर integer a equal to 10. So what is this called as a declaration and initialization both. And integer b, this is called as what? Only declaration. And b equal to 20, this is called as what? Assignment. b equal to 20, this is called as a assignment. So declaration के साथ में है, if it is there along with the declaration, then that is only called as a initialization. Okay, so this is just a declaration and this is called as a assignment. And next, okay, you are having a static integer c equal to 10. What is this called as a same declaration and initialization? So this is called as what? Assignment. So a equal to 10, that is called as a assignment. Okay, next, now understand here, in this example, okay, when you are executing this program, first at the compile time, listen carefully, at the compile time, memory allocated, tell me, at the compile time, memory allocated for global variable and static variable. So here is the global variable, okay, a equal to 20, and here is a static variable c equal to 10. For both of them, memory allocated in the data segment, memory allocated in the data segment at the compile time. So understand here, global का data segment will be separate and variable okay function b का data segment अलग रहेगा. Okay, function b data segment is different and the global variable okay data segment is different. So global का data segment में a value is how much here? 20, and in the function b data segment c value is how much here? 10. Okay, so this is the important thing. So many students are having confusion. Okay, in case if you are having same variable name, no problem. Same variable name, no problem. This is having separate data segment and global is having a separate data segment. Okay, so copy this. Okay, what is important? This is called as a declaration initialization. This is both declaration initialization, only declaration assignment. So this is both and this is only assignment. Copy this. Okay, so next move on to the next one. So copy this, copy the next example, speed up. Bhavajita, you will understand. I am explaining step by step. Don't worry. Yeah, Mohammed Salim, yes, local variable have more precedence than the global. Yes. Okay. Now tell me, what is the meaning of all this? Okay. Now, when you are executing this one, just listen to me carefully. Basic points I am explaining. Okay, it is not the actual question or anything. Okay. So, concept I want to explain. Okay. Now when you are executing this program, at the compile time memory allocated for a static variable, at the compile time memory allocated for static variable and global variable. So global variable is having separate data segment and the main function, okay, in global variable is having variable a. So global variable, okay, data segment of the global variable a is okay, that is initialized with what? 20. And next main function is also having static variable. Main function is having static variable, that is also name is what? A. So it means what? Okay, so this variable a, okay, that will be stored in the data segment of the main function. Okay, data segment of the main function. So this variable a, so that is initialized with what? 30. And next okay, data segment of the function b. Okay, b is also having what? Static variable. B is also having static variable. So the b function data segment will be separate. In this also you are having variable a. So that variable a is what? 40. Okay. Now tell me. So this is called as what? Declaration and initialization. And this is called as what? Same, both declaration and initialization, because okay, you are initializing the value here along with the declaration. This is the declaration, along with the declaration you are okay initializing. So this is called as initialization. So remember, next this is called as same, declaration and initialization, and this is called as what? Declaration. That's it. Okay, now that's it. So in this example, what I wanted to explain, okay, every function will have its own data segment in case if you are having the variable a. Okay, a static variable. So in this also you are having static variable a, In this also static variable A is there, so no confusion. This is having the separate data segment and this is having the separate data segment. In the global also you are having variable A, that is also having separate data segment. Is this clear for everyone? So just copy that. Shubhi Goel, static variable is having scope is only local. Who told you static variable is having global scope? Who told you that? Shubhi Goel, look at the table in your notes. Look at the table in your notes. बड़ा टेबल कॉपी किए थे ना. स्टैटिक वेरिएबल का स्कोप क्या है? स्टैटिक वेरिएबल का स्कोप तुम बोल रहे कि ग्लोबल. कौन बोला है तुमको ग्लोबल बोल के? Who told you static variable has global scope? Did I say that? Look at your table. Himanshu. Yeah, what is this Himanshu saying? Yeah, it is at the compile time only value will be assigned. Okay. Yeah, Ankit Gal, all your doubts will be clarified. No need to ask. Yes, sir. Yeah, initialization of the static variable external variable not allowed. Yes, I told you that. Function C का external variable global A को use करेगा ना. Prita Majumdar, don't worry. Yes, sir. Function C का variable A, function C variable A, it will make use of the global only. Yes. The value of A will be in the C. Take which one? Or C. Okay, that's a global only. External variable always refer to what? Global. Bhavyajita, okay, just concentrate what I am saying. All your doubts will be clarified. Just wait. I am going to discuss the next that topic only. Okay, don't worry. Copied all of you. So I am just removing. Okay. So next, copy the next one. Third example. Chinmay Kavati, just wait. You will understand better. Just wait. Next topic is that only. Whatever the doubts you are asking, that is the next topic. Okay, now understand here, if you copy this one, in this okay example, listen here, sometimes in the okay program, listen here, sometimes in the exam, okay, he will give you pseudo code. Understand carefully, it is not a executable program. He will give you what? Pseudo code only. Okay, when the pseudo code is given, according to the program, you need to understand. Okay, so just change this here. Okay, change it as a. Okay, change this as a, so that you will not have any confusion. Change it as a. Okay, A karo isko, because that is required actually, right? Now listen here. So in this program also, you need to tell me what is the declaration, what is the initialization, and what is the assignment. Okay. Okay, this changes to A and this also A. Okay, this is also A, this is also A. Okay, right. Understand here, just listen carefully. Change this, a small change this, this is also A, this is also A, right. Okay, so please understand here, if you observe this example, it is nowhere it is given as an integer. So here also there is no integer, here also there is no integer, nowhere it is integer A, right. So in this case, meaningfully you need to understand what is the declaration, what is the initialization, what is both, okay, and what is assignment. Okay, right. So nowhere it is given as a integer. This example is important. Remember, this is not a executable program, this is the pseudo code, this is the pseudo code. Along with the whatever the program is given, accordingly you have to understand. Now in the global variable is saying A equal to 10. So what is this called as a declaration and initialization. Remember, this cannot be assignment, because in the global variable you cannot make the assignment. Okay, in the global you cannot make the assignment. So that is definitely what, obviously declaration only. Nowhere it is given as an integer. Logically you need to understand. Nowhere it is given as an integer. Logically you need to understand. Okay, because it is just a pseudo code. Okay, next, so this is called as what, declaration, right. Now tell me, what is this called as, okay, very good, assignment. What is this called as a assignment? Okay, so this is declaration and this is called as assignment, because this cannot be assignment again. Okay, because already you declared here, this cannot be declaration again. Already you declared variable is, how it can be declaration here? So this is just assignment. Next, now tell me, A equal to 20, A equal to 10. What is this called as? Okay, you need to consider this as a declaration and initialization, and this is called as what, assignment, because already you declared A here. How this is again, okay, again declaration? No, this is just a assignment. So based on the program you need to understand logically. Based on the program you need to understand logically, because this is just a pseudo code. Now you are having a doubt, sir, why this is not an assignment? Okay, you are having the doubt, why this is not assignment? Remember, this is not assignment because if I want to, okay, declare the local variable here, I want to declare the local variable in the function B. How you declare? In the same manner, because there is nowhere it is integer, nowhere it is integer. So if I want to declare local variable, this is how you have to declare. So declaration and initialization. Is this clear for everyone? Yes or no? Okay, remember, sometimes somebody again thinking the different questions, sir, I want to change the global variable here. You cannot change. Some drawbacks will be there because it is just a pseudo code. If you want all kind of facilities, then you write the proper executable program. When you are giving the pseudo code, some drawbacks will be there. Is that clear? But logically, meaningfully, you need to understand. Logically, meaningfully, you have to understand. So this is called a declaration initialization. This declaration and this is only assignment, and this is both, and this is just a assignment. Okay, remember, this is also called as declaration and initialization. Now again everybody will have a doubt here only, sir, why this is not assignment? Remember, if I say integer here, if I write integer here, so then automatically this will become okay assignment. That is a different case. So nowhere it is given as a okay integer. So in that case, okay, meaningfully you have to understand. So this will become what? Okay, declaration only. Is this clear for everyone? Yes sir, Shubhi Goel, yes sir. That is a lifetime. That is called as a lifetime. Scope is different, lifetime is different. Shubhi Goel. Okay, so I think okay, is this clear for everyone? Sir, functions will not consider global variable. Wait karo. The next topic is all your doubts will clarify in the next topic. What is this? Kashish Singh, what is your doubt here? What is initialization? Declaration के साथ में है, that is the initialization. Declaration के साथ में है, that is initialization. Okay, look at here. integer a equal to 10. This is a declaration. This is a declaration declaring a. Okay, purpose of the declaration of a variable is allocating memory. Okay, how much memory? 2 bytes of memory. Let's say 2 bytes of memory is allocated. Declaration के साथ you are okay giving the value. So this is called as a initialization. This is called as initializing the variable. Okay, is this clear? What is this doubt? The purpose of declaring the variable is allocating the memory. Is this clear for everyone? In the first Rahul Aradha Mishra, you understand the table, you see the table and you understood the, I think you are missing yesterday class. I explained in the static variable. In the static variable I told you that what is scope and lifetime. Scope is within the body but the lifetime is entire program. I told in the yesterday class. Rahul is saying first, sir, in the first A could have been assignment. Where is the first A could have been assignment? Okay, here. No, that is a okay declaration and initialization I told. Okay, right. I think all your doubts clear, right? So this is a okay basic things required okay to continue with the next topic. So next we'll move on to the next topic. Okay, that is a scope. Okay, what is the meaning of scope? Okay, now we completed the storage classes. Just for the revision purpose, what are the storage classes? Auto storage class, register, and next static and external. What is more important among all this? Static is more important. Static. So almost every year the question comes from the static. Okay, right. So next topic we'll move on to the okay scope. So please copy all this. Diksha Sekhar, that is not required for you. That is not required. How much memory allocated? Don't know. That is just a pseudo code. That is not an executable program. It is not having anything, any storage class. Saumili Kandar. You can assume like a static in case if you want. Copy the next topic. Keep the heading next topic. Copy karo. Saumali Kandar, global variable, okay, storage class is static only. You can just imagine as a static only. Okay. Now understand here. Now understand carefully what is the meaning of this. I will explain in detail. I will explain in detail. Listen carefully. Okay. Now next we are moving on to the next topic, that is the scope. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Next topic is the scope. Now it is categorized into two types. Okay. Scope is categorized in two types. One is the static scoping and next is the dynamic scoping. Okay, understand carefully, right? Scope. Okay, next topic is the scope, and scoping is categorized into two types, static scoping and dynamic scoping. Static scoping means what? It is written compile time, and dynamic scoping means what? Run time. So understand here what is the meaning of this scoping. Okay, when I am talking about the scoping, understand important point. Whatever the scoping concept I am talking, whatever the scoping concept I am talking, the scoping rules are applicable only for the free variable, very clearly given, right? Very clearly given. Whatever the scoping rules I am talking, maybe like I am talking about static scoping or maybe dynamic scoping, remember the scoping rules are applicable only to the free variable. What is the meaning of free variable? Okay, what is the meaning of free variable? So free variable means what? Okay, clearly given definition, the variable which is not declared in the function, variable which is not declared in the function but used in the function is called as what? Free variable. मतलब कोई भी variable को, okay, in some variable is there in the function, you have not declared in the function but used in the function, that is called as what? Free variable. What is the meaning of this? We will study with examples. Don't worry. Is that here? Right. I will explain the example. So remember, whatever the scoping rules I am talking, they are applicable only to what? Free variable. What is the meaning of free variable? The variable which is, tell me, not declared in the function but used in the function, that is called as what? Free variable. Okay. Now in case we are having that kind of free variable, okay, you are going to think about okay, whether to apply static scoping or whether to apply dynamic scoping. What happens if I apply static scoping? What happens if I apply dynamic scoping? Okay, see that next. Okay, note down, keep the heading static scoping. Next, copy karo, keep that in static scoping, copy that, keep that in dynamic scoping and copy this. Copied, guys? Okay, right. So remember, whatever the concept we are studying here, this is applicable. Tell me, whatever the concept we are studying here, this is applicable only to what? Free variables. Applicable only to what? Free variables. Okay, listen carefully. Now, if I follow the static scoping, in the static scoping, what is happening here? In the static scoping, free variables are resolved by using what? Global variables. Please understand here. Free variables are resolved by using what? Global variables. Okay, next, in case if I follow dynamic scoping, what happens? If I follow dynamic scoping, in the dynamic scoping, free variables are resolved from what? Previous calling function. Previous calling function. If you are having any free variable, if I follow dynamic scoping, that will be resolved by using what? Previous calling function. Okay, what is the meaning of that? Don't worry, I will explain, right? Okay, with the example. I am just explaining first, later I will explain with the example also, right? Next, what is the note? We will study that later. Okay, remember, understand carefully, in the C language, whatever the C language you are going to follow, C language by default follows what? C language by default follows what? Static scoping. Okay, dynamic scoping is not there in the C language. Okay, C language by default follows what? Static scoping. Is that clear? And in the note you have written, in the worst case, dynamic scoping behave like what? Static scoping. Worst case में dynamic scoping भी क्या कैसे behave करेगा? Static scoping जैसा behave करेगा. In the worst case, dynamic scoping also behaves like static scoping if no variables present. If the no variable present in the previous calling function, then the global variable will be printed. So what is the meaning of this? Everything, static scoping, dynamic scoping, what is the free variable? Okay, you are having so many doubts, right? All your doubts will be clarified. Okay, first I will explain one or two examples. Listen carefully, and later you will solve the questions. Low level to high level, you solve all varieties of the questions. Okay, so the first example I will explain. Copy karo. Copy the first example. Copied? Okay. Now just listen here. So what is the output using static scoping and dynamic scoping? Now first I am going to explain with the static scoping, right, and later I will explain with the dynamic scoping. Okay, understand the definitions and whatever the concept is there, what is the meaning of free variable, what is the meaning of static scoping, what is the meaning of dynamic scoping, everything understand carefully when I am explaining the example. Okay, listen carefully. Okay, right. So first okay, I am solving with the static scoping. So I am solving here, okay, with the static scoping. Okay, I write it here. Okay, now when you execute this program, tell me what happens when I am executing this program. Listen carefully. Okay, the memory will be allocated at the compile time. Compile time में memory किसके लिए allocate होगा? In the compile time, memory allocated for what? Global variables and static variables. So do you have a global variable? Yes. So in the global variable, okay, data segment, okay, data segment. So global का data segment में, okay, किसके लिए memory allocate होगा? Variable A and variable B. Okay, listen here. So variable A is 50 and variable B is 60. So this is the data segment. Okay, memory allocated, okay, for the global variables. Now first, okay, in the main function, okay, I am okay, we are having a comma b, integer a comma b. This is what here declaration. Okay, now look at here, this is the assignment. And next, okay, in this, okay, you are having integer t and t equal to a. Look at here, I am asking the question. Listen carefully. I am asking the question. Listen carefully. In the main function, variable a comma b available or not available? Available. Available है बोल के कब बोलना? When you have to say it is available, if it is a declaration is there. Declaration is there. So declaration is there. Yes. In the main function, variable a and b is available. Yes, available. Okay, because declaration is there. In the swap function, the variable t is available. In the swap function, variable t is available. Yes, available, because declaration is there, it is available. And in the swap function, variable a and variable b is available or not available? In the swap function, variable a and variable b available or not available? Remember, not available. Okay, इसको देख के नहीं बोलना सर, यहाँ पे दिख रहा है available है. Okay, available है बोल के कब बोलना? When you have to say it is available, if it is declared. Because if it is declared, then only memory will be allocated. If it is declared, then only memory will be allocated in that particular function. Okay, in the swap function, variable a and b is available? No, not available. Why it is not available? Because there is no declaration. There is no declaration means memory is allocated? No, not allocated. Is that clear? Right. So remember, so this variable a and variable b, listen here. So this variable a and variable b, these two are called as what? Free variables. These are called as what? Free variables. Okay, definition was very clear, very clear. What is the definition of the free variable? The variable which is not declared in the function but used in the function, that is called as what? Free variable. Yes or no? Right? Okay, that is the meaning of free variable. Right. So look at here, variable a and b is declared in this function? No, they are not declared. They are not declared in the function but used in the function. That is called as what? Free variable. Okay, so if you are having this kind of free variable here, so which one a you are going to assign to t here? He is saying that t equal to a. So कौन सा a को t में डालोगे? A is there in the previous calling function and a is there in the global. So which one you are going to consider? That is the question mark. What is the statement he is saying here? Integer t equal to a. So which a you are going to assign to t here? A is there in the previous calling function because swap is called from the main. Swap is called from the main. So this variable a is there in the main function also, and this variable a is there in the global also. So कौन सा a को t में डालोगे? a इक्वल टू 10 डालोगे, यहाँ पे a वैल्यू 10 मान के t में डालोगे, a इक्वल टू 50 मान के t में डालोगे. सो कौन सा a को t में डालोगे? विच a you are going to assign to t? So that is a question mark. Remember, so when they developed the C language, Dennis Ritchie has this kind of doubt. When they developed this C language, Dennis Ritchie had this doubt. So when this variable a is there, okay, that is a free variable because that is not declared in the function. So when you are assigning that t, okay, into what? Okay, sorry, a into t. So then which variable a you have to consider? In that case, they decided there are two things, okay, we are going to discuss here. That is a static scoping and dynamic scoping. If you follow static scoping, which variable a you have to consider? If I follow static scoping, definition clearly दिया है, notes में दिखे. हाँ, if I follow static scoping, which variable a you have to consider? Global variable a you have to consider. If I follow dynamic scoping, which variable you have to consider? Previous calling function. Previous calling function का variable a you have to consider. I am repeating. If I follow static scoping, which variable have to consider? Global. Why? एक बार notes में पढ़ो. Just read the notes. Read the notes. In the static scoping, very clear. In the static scoping, free variables are resolved by using global variables. Global variables. In the dynamic scoping, free variables are resolved from previous calling function. Okay, so it means, okay, if I follow static scoping, which variable you have to consider? 50. Because in the static scoping, free variables are resolved from global variables. Okay, if my program is following static scoping, you have to consider global variable. If my program is following dynamic scoping, which variable you have to consider? Previous calling function. Okay, who called this swap function? Main. Okay, because the swap say main says swap को call किया, right? Which variable you consider? Okay, a equal to 10. So if I follow previous calling function variable a, then that is called as a dynamic scoping. If I follow global variable a, if I consider global variable a, then that is called as what? Static scoping. Is that clear? Now remember, important point. Listen here. C language by default follows static scoping only. Is that clear? So in the question he has not given anything. In the question he has not given static scoping or dynamic scoping. By default, which one you have to consider? Static scoping only. Why? Because okay, after so much of research, so Dennis Ritchie decided that so this dynamic scoping is not good. This is taking so much time. If you are having multiple functions, it is taking so much time. So okay, dynamic scoping is not good. So better follow static scoping. So Dennis Ritchie and his team decided that okay, dynamic scoping is not good, better follow what? Static scoping only. So that is the reason C language by default follows what? Static scoping. But remember, as a computer science student, you should also know that there is something called dynamic scoping. As a computer science student, you should also know that there is also something called dynamic scoping. Is that clear? And why you have to study this? Because there is a gate question. Right? Okay, right. So now you need to study both static scoping and dynamic scoping because the gate questions are there on both the topics. Is this clear for everyone? Right. Now I am going to explain this. Listen carefully. Now I am solving the problem. Okay, I will solve with both static scoping and dynamic scoping. So what is the question saying? What is the output using static scoping and dynamic scoping? I am solving with the static scoping first. If I follow static scoping, okay, look at here, memory allocated for the global variable at the compile time. Now I am executing the okay program. Listen carefully. So the first okay main function will be pushed into stack. Look at here, first program execution starts from the main function will be pushed into stack. Integer a comma b. So it means it's a local variable. Declaration is there. So इसके लिए डब्बा बनाओ. Declaration है तो डब्बा बनाओ. Okay, a b memory allocated. Okay, for variable a and b memory allocated. So a is how much? 10 and b is how much here? 20. Okay, right, very good. So a equal to 10, b equal to 20. And now you are calling the swap function. Listen carefully. When you call the swap function will be pushed into stack. So the next okay swap function will be pushed into stack. So look at here. So from here Okay, look at here. So from here, okay, in the main function you are calling the swap function. So swap function will be pushed into stack. In the swap function you say integer t. So t is a local variable, declaration is there, okay, डब्बा इसके लिए बनाओ, declaration है तो डब्बा बनाओ, declaration means memory allocation. Next, now you are saying okay, t equal to a. Now tell me, when you say t equal to a, which variable a you have to consider? Okay, because a is a free variable. Okay, now which one you are following now? Static scoping. You are solving the problem with the static scoping. In the static scoping, tell me, free variables are resolved. In the static scoping, free variables are resolved by using what? By using global. Now tell me, in the global में a value is how much? 50. Global में a value कितना है? 50 है. So listen carefully. In the global में a value कितना है? 50. So 50 will be assigned to t. 50 will be assigned to t. And next, now a equal to b. Now tell me, a equal to b means what it is here? Both are free variables. Both are free variables because variable a is also not declared, variable b also not declared. Look at here, swap function में a and b के लिए डब्बा बनाया, a and b के लिए डब्बा बनाया नहीं बनाया. So कौन सा b को लेके कौन सा a में डालना है? Both are free variable. Free variables are resolved in the static scoping. Free variables are resolved by using global. So global का b जो है, okay, global का a में डालना है. Global का a, global variable of b, value of b, okay, will be assigned to global variable of a. So that will become what? 60. And next, b equal to t. So t is a local variable, t value is a 50, and you need to assign it to b. Which variable b will be changed? B is a free variable because it is not declared. Which variable you change? Okay, global, because in the static scoping free variables are resolved from global. So global में b का value change होगा किससे? 50. And next, when you say printf a comma b, so what is output you get here? What is output? Okay, a comma b. A comma b is a free variable or local variable? Free variable. So free variable है तो static scoping which one you consider? Global. So global में a का value कितना? 60. b का value कितना? 50. Right? Now swap function is completed. So this will be deleted from the stack. Go back to previous calling function. Who called the swap function? Main. So look at here. So you come back here. In the main function, once you come back, you say printf a comma b. In the main function, you say printf a comma b. In the main function, okay, swap function completed. This will be deleted. Go back to previous calling function. And once you come back, printf a comma b. When you say printf a comma b is our local variable or free variable? In the main function, a comma b, local variable or free variable? Local. Local है, there is no concept. Local है, there is no concept, there is no doubt. The concept, whatever you are studying, it is applicable only to free variable. So okay, in the main function a comma b print कर रहा है, a comma b local variable, so it will be printed from here only. So it will print what? 10 20. Okay, 10 20. Is that clear? So this is the output. Okay, if you follow static scoping. Now, what is the output if you follow dynamic scoping? Let's try to understand. So, I'll explain that now. Okay. Now, listen carefully. If I follow the dynamic scoping, now same thing, memory allocated for the global variable. Okay, you are having global variable here in the data segment. Okay, memory allocated, okay, for the global variable at the compile time. Now, tell me, variable A is how much here? 50. And variable B is how much here? 60. Now I am solving the same program, okay, with the dynamic scoping. Okay, I am going to write the output here. Listen carefully. So the first main function will be pushed into stack. Listen carefully. I am solving the same thing. Okay, first memory allocated for the global variable a equal to 50, b equal to 60. That is given to you already, right? And next I am pushing the main function in the stack. In the main function integer a comma b, declaration is there. Okay, so डब्बा बनाओ. Declaration है तो मेमोरी एलोकेट होगा. ओके, डब्बा बनाया. नेक्स्ट a इक्वल टू 10, b इक्वल टू 20. सो a वैल्यू 10 here, okay, b value 20. Next you are calling the swap function. Swap function will be pushed into stack. Swap function will be pushed into stack. And next you say integer t. So t is a local variable. Listen carefully, t is a local variable. डब्बा बनाया. And next t equal to a. Listen carefully, t equal to a. So here a is what? Free variable. Free variable, and b is also what? Free variable. Okay, a is a free variable. A value लेके t में डालना है. Which variable a you have to consider? I am following dynamic scoping. In the dynamic scoping, okay, free variables are resolved. In the dynamic scoping, free variables are resolved from previous calling function. Okay, swap को कौन कॉल किया था? swap को कौन कॉल किया था? main कॉल किया था. So who called the swap function? Main. In the main variable is available? Yes. Okay, when you will say it is available? If it is declared. इसका डब्बा बनाया? Yes. Okay, now what is the value of a here? 10. So 10 will be assigned to what? Okay, t. Very good. And next, a equal to b. Now both are the free variable. So which variable b is assigned to which variable a? Both are the free variable. कौन सा variable change होगा? Previous calling function. Why? Dynamic scoping. In the dynamic scoping, free variables are resolved from previous calling function. So who called the swap? Main. So in the main, value of b will be assigned to value of a. So value of b will be assigned to value of a. So that becomes 20. And next, now you say b equal to t. So t is a local variable. So t is a 10. t लेके किस में डालना है? b. b is a free variable. तो कहाँ पे change होगा? कहाँ पे चेंज होगा? ओके, यहाँ पे तो स्वैप में नहीं है बी. सो कौन सा वेरिएबल बी चेंज होगा? प्रीवियस कॉलिंग, बिकॉज डायनामिक स्कोपिंग. हु कॉल्ड द स्वैप फंक्शन? मेन. मेन में बी वेरिएबल अवेलेबल है? यस अवेलेबल है. सो ओके, बी को चेंज करना है किससे? टी से. व्हाट इज द टी वैल्यू? 10. सो दिस विल चेंज टू व्हाट? 10. Now, okay, now you say printf a comma b. When you say printf a comma b, in the swap function printf a comma b. So a comma b is not available in the okay swap function. Both are free variable. So free variables are resolved from what? Previous calling function. Who called the swap? Main. In the main a comma b available? Yes available. When you will say it is available, इसका okay डब्बा is there, box is there, memory is allocated, it is declared. Okay, now what is the a value? 20. b value 10. So now the swap function is completed. So this will be deleted from the stack. So go back to the previous calling function. Who called the swap? Main. So go to the main here. So you come back here. यहाँ से गए थे. You came from here. You went from here. And here in the main you again say printf a comma b. In the main you say printf a comma b. In the main function a comma b is what? Local. Local है. So it is available here. So what is the output? Okay, local. A value 20, b value 10. So this is 20 and 10. So this is the output. Okay, if I follow dynamic scoping. And this is the output if I follow static scoping. So please copy that carefully. Mahbub Ali, I told that in the first class only I told whether it is a recursive function or non-recursive program. Recursive program or non-recursive program, every program will execute with the help of stack only. Sri Ranga, I told that very clearly, recursive or non-recursive, every program will execute with the stack only. Copy everything carefully. I said recursion means while solving also you better use a okay stack. Okay, non-recursive program also with the help of stack only. But while solving the program, okay, you don't need to use a okay stack. If you use a stack, that is fine. Every program executed with a stack only. I told very clearly. Very clearly I told. You are not attending carefully. Every point I told. पूनम रानी वेट करो. Don't ask any doubt. Maintain patience. Whatever the doubt you are going to have, I know that. I am explaining. I am in the middle. पिक्चर अभी पूरा नहीं हुआ है, पिक्चर अभी भी बाकी है, पिक्चर अभी पूरा ख़त्म नहीं हुआ है. तुमको क्या डाउट आता है मेरे को पता नहीं क्या? हाँ, एनी स्मॉल डाउट इज देयर, आई नो इट वेरी क्लियरली, राइट? सो व्हाई यू विल आस्क? जस्ट मेंटेन पेशेंस. copied. Copied, guys? Okay, because if I move on to the next slide, so you cannot copy the previous one, so I will erase all that. If anybody is not copied or slow, you can just take the photo in case if you have not yet copied. Okay, so I'm just moving on to the next one. Okay, so copy the next example. Copy the next example. Copy this. Rahul, I told you to wait. Right. So I think all of you copied. Okay. So understand here, don't solve. This is also my explanation, right? So this is not a question, this is an example. Now if you observe here, okay, now what is the global variable? Global variable A is there, so it is allocated in the data segment. So what is the A value here? 5. Okay, so that is there in the data segment. Okay, copied all of you, right? So now if you observe this program, listen carefully, copied all of you. No need to solve anything, solve mat karo aap log, no need to solve anything, copy kar lo bas. कॉपी हो गया. Okay, so please understand here. Okay, so understand, okay, the concept what I am trying to say. Okay, later you solve question, don't worry, मैं आपको ऐसा छोड़ता नहीं है, right? I will give questions definitely. हाँ, आपको ऐसा नॉर्मली फ्री में छोड़ने का मन नहीं करता है, तो डेफिनेटली यू विल सॉल्व द क्वेश्चंस, राइट? हाँ, so you have so many questions to do, don't worry, right? Next, now understand here. If you observe this program here, so global variable at the compile time memory allocated for global variable and static variable. So you are having only global variable, memory allocated for variable A, that is 5. So this is a global ka data segment. So global ka data segment mein variable A is what? 5. Now first, how the program execution will take place? Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. First, main function will be pushed into stack. And next in the main function you are having local variable integer A equal to 10. So next you are calling function B. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. You are calling function B. You will come here. In the function B, okay, again you are having local variable, declaration is there. You are calling the function C. Then you will come here. And the function C, again you are having the local variable, okay, then you are calling the function D. You will come here. In the function D, again you are having the local variable, okay, you say, okay, printf A. Now tell me, when I say printf A, okay, now tell me, if I use static scoping, okay, and if I use the dynamic scoping. Now look at here, so two things. If I use the static scoping, what is the output? In the printf A kata, what is, if I use the static scoping, what is the output? 10 only. If I use the dynamic scoping, what is the output? 10 only. Remember, intelligent fellows, I told you, scoping rules are applicable only to the free variable. Now here variable is a free variable or local variable? Local variable, okay. There is no scoping at all. There is no scoping in this question, okay, right here, okay, with this, there is no scoping because there is a local variable, okay. Scoping rules are applicable only to free variable. What is the meaning of free variable? Which is not declared in the function but used in the function. Yes or no? Yes or no? Right, okay, right. So understand here, okay, so with the static scoping and dynamic scoping, so what is the output you get here now? 10. So now that is not the question. Now the question is, if this statement is not there, listen carefully. So let me use a different color, okay, right. If this statement is not there, if this statement is not there, if this statement is not there, listen carefully. If this statement is not there, if I use the static scoping, if this statement is not there, if I use the static scoping, what is the output? Tell me, in the static scoping free variable ho jayega, okay. Now variable A is a free variable. If this statement is not there, that becomes a free variable. Now if I use the free variable and printf A, if I use the static scoping, what it will print? Global. So what is the value of global variable? Okay, 5. Now tell me, if I use the dynamic scoping, which one will be printed? अगर ये नहीं है, if this is not there, if I use a dynamic scoping, you check the variable from the previous calling function. You take the variable from previous calling function. If this is not there, if I use the dynamic scoping, what is the output? It will take from previous calling function. Previous calling function is what? C. In the C, variable A is available? Yes, available. So it will print what? 30. Okay, it will print 30. Now let us say, just assume that if this is also not there, then which one will take dynamic scoping? Again previous calling function. Which one is called for the C? Okay, B. In the B, variable A is available? Yes, sir. So it will print what? 20. Okay, if this is not there, it will print 20. Remember, it is not printing both. If this is not there, it will print 20. Now if this is also not there, it will print from what? Again previous calling. It will print from, okay, main. So that will print 10. Okay, now let us say if this is also not there, example, if this is also not there, it will print from where? Global only. It will print from the global only. So okay, if this is also not there, it will print from global only. Kya print hoga? 5. So that is the reason I told very clearly in the note. I clearly said, look at here, what is the note? In the worst case, dynamic scoping behaves like a static scoping if no variable is present in the previous calling function. Then the global variable will be printed. Is that clear? So it means if this is not there in the dynamic scoping, look at here, in the dynamic scoping, what we are saying here, right? In the dynamic scoping, if this is not there, okay, it will print 30. If this is also not there, okay, 20. This is also not there, okay, it will print 10. If this is also not there, it will print 5. Okay, now somebody, intelligent fellows are having doubt. If this is also not there, okay, what it will print? Intelligent fellows, it will give you error. Okay, no variable declared. Yes or no? Is that clear? Undefined variable A. If this is also not there, so that will give you error. Intelligent fellows. Is that clear? Right. So is this clear for everyone now? Okay, now this is the reason Dennis Ritchie decided that okay, when you are having so many function calls like this, okay, you are doing so many pop operations, so many push operations, if the no variable present from the previous calling functions, okay, if no variable present in the previous calling function, and finally you are taking what? Global variable only. So that is the reason Dennis Ritchie decided that dynamic scoping is not good. It is taking lot of headache, okay, lot of work. So that is the reason he decided to continue with what? Static scoping. So that is the reason C language by default follows static scoping. Okay, so copy this. Shivam is saying everything is clear now. थोड़ा wait करना है, maintain patience, everything will be cleared. Yes, sir. Shubhi Goel, what is your doubt? In the D, 10 is there. Static scoping, dynamic scoping, 10 will print. First of all, there is no scoping rule. Shubhi Goel, if integer 10 is there, okay, why you are thinking about scoping? I told very clearly, scoping rules are applicable only to free variable. In the D function, you are having integer equal to 10. Now, is it a free variable or local variable? Local variable है. Local variable है, तो there is no scoping. Scoping की बात ही नहीं है. Yes or no? Right. So copied. Now let's take up the first question on the screen. Okay. Oh, where is this? Right. So here is the first question on the screen. Arre. Okay, so this board is behaving. Arre. ये क्या हो गया यार बोर्ड को? ये बहुत थक गया ये. Shit. इसको मिटाना कैसे फिर अभी? देखो इरेजर इज नॉट सेलेक्टिंग. हाँ, okay, I have to select every time, that also strange. Okay, note down the first question. Here is the first question on the screen. Right. So if you observe this, okay, just copy this. I will explain everything. Okay, you need to find what is the output using static scoping and dynamic scoping. Okay. Now just listen here. Variable x real. This is the global variable, and this is the procedure show. Okay, this is begin and end. This is a small procedure small. This is a from begin and end. And remember, this is called as a okay main. This is called as a main function. Is that clear? So you need to execute the program from here. Okay. So this is called as what? Main. इसको बोलते हैं main. So this is the okay like a programming language okay used in the Pascal. This is a kind of programming language used in the Pascal. Is that clear? So this is your main function, and this is a okay function small. This is the function show, and this is a global variable. Okay, right? So variable x that is a declaration. This is also variable x declaration. So here variable x is what? A free variable. Okay, so think carefully and solve. Remember, this is what here, okay, in the main function, small hint, in the main function this is what here, assignment. So this is a free variable. So in the free variable, whether it is a static scoping or dynamic scoping, which variable you need to modify, because main function is not having any previous calling function. So when you say x equal to 0.25 free variable, so where it is going to update, it will update in the global. Whether it is a static scoping or whether it is a dynamic scoping, it will update in the, okay, global only. Understand that point. So I am just revealing the answer, static scoping and dynamic scoping. I think in the static scoping answer is 0.25, 0.25. In the dynamic scoping answer is 0.25, 0.125. Okay, so this is the answer. The explanation I will give in the tomorrow's class. Explanation I will give in the tomorrow's class. So revise all the notes, revise all the points very clearly. Everything I explained very crystal clear manner. If you are not following, watch the video once again, read the notes once again, watch the video once again. Everything is there in your notes. Okay, understand here? Okay, so solution and explanation I will give in the tomorrow's class. So this is the answer, explanation I will give in the tomorrow's class. Is that clear? So because time is up, so I will stop the class for today. So continue tomorrow. Okay, bye bye. नोट्स अच्छे से पढ़ लो, कल का क्लास में मिलते हैं. चलो.